What's going on, guys? Welcome to Georgia Kendama Radio. It's your boy Nick at NickDrummer20. You already know. You might hear a little audio difference, and that's because we're going pro. We've got a couple of new guests, or I don't know if you would call them guests. They're definitely hosts now on the Georgia Kendama Radio podcast. We're gonna be doing big things, and I'm super excited to be doing this. We had a brief hiatus because we just had a lot of schedule issues, and a whole lot has been going on the past year, I think, since the last podcast. So yeah, I want to go ahead. I mean, you guys kind of know me, but let's go ahead and introduce our new hosts.
What up?
Aiden.
What else? What's going on, guys? My name is Aiden. You guys might also have seen me on Instagram as Dama Doozy. Quite possibly, but I don't know. But yeah, I live in Suwanee, Georgia. It's a little outside of Atlanta. But I also live very close to Nick, who is also our other guest here. Nick.
What's going on, Nick?
Going on?
I am the other Nick. I guess for the sake of the show, we can call me Fish, but I don't want people to think I'm like Jake Fisher. You know, there's already a Fish in Kendama. But I'm Nick Fish. It's Fisch, but it's nickfish.tv on Instagram. Some clips up there, some cool Kendama content edits. That's kind of my thing, is video, graphics, motion graphics, stuff like that. But huge love for Kendama, so I'm stoked to join the media love and Kendama love here on the podcast. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Stoked to be a part of it.
I'm so excited to have you guys. If you guys don't know these guys, I'm telling you, please follow them. They both do awesome stuff. Great Georgia homies. We've got a really interesting mix of experiences here. So I really think you guys need to be subscribing, or wherever we're putting this, you need to be making sure you're checking out the new podcast, because we have some really interesting perspectives and conversations to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Between Nick and Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So yeah, honestly, guys, so the way I want to talk about this podcast is I want to go ahead and just introduce all of you to our new hosts. I'm going to, I guess, selfishly plug myself and talk about myself, just for anybody that didn't listen to the first of the old podcast that I don't even know where. I think it's on SoundCloud back in the day, which was 2 years ago.
Some SoundCloud, some on YouTube. I've been listening all week. So
yeah, they're all over everything. Yeah, we were trying a lot of things. We were, like I said earlier, I like to move fast and break shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying out new things, so we're gonna talk a lot about that. We're gonna talk about where we are in Georgia and stuff like that. What who we are, what Kendama means to us, and then at the end, I definitely want to have a minute to talk about Dave. At the time we're recording this, actually, it is the Sunday at the end of Dave's 3-day memorial. His celebration of life is today, so I thought it was gonna be a real good conversation to have at the end and just talk about a moment. So,
most definitely.
But before we get into that, Aiden, you want to go ahead and just talk about yourself a bit?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so I've only been around the scene for about, I'd say, 2.5 years. I started in May of 2017, so that's 2 years and 5 months, something like that. But ever since I picked it up, I've been, I wouldn't say obsessed, but I've been pretty obsessed with it.
You've been
Not gonna lie, I've been obsessed with it. But it's, I don't know, man. It's just been super important to me ever since I've found out about it and been able to incorporate that into a lot of things in my life. And
how did you get into it?
So I got into it. Yeah, I got into it. Actually, Nick, sitting to my right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the first one. Yeah. This is all his fault.
Awesome.
No,
Good
but
job.
Definitely. I saw him playing with it for about a month, and I didn't even think to pick it up. I'd seen one before back in the day, and I got the classic story. Like, I saw him playing for about a month, and thought it wasn't the coolest thing in the world, but ended up picking it up and immediately becoming obsessed.
We're indoctrinated.
Yeah.
We're brainwashed.
That's how it happens, man.
Yeah.
I got the classic Dama story, really.
Yeah. Just your friend.
But just super into it. And yeah, man, just out here in the Georgia scene. Been trying to trying to rep Georgia scene as much as I can and get as many people into it as I can. It's been
what makes you want to do that? Is it just you found something? Or?
Yeah, I just want to be able to share the love and be able to share the appreciation, have somebody else appreciate it just as much as I do, you know. And it helped me as much as it did, and I would like to be able to, you know, maybe help somebody else in that aspect, you know. So it's just been a very important part of my life ever since I found out about it. So
yeah, that's awesome, especially for 2 years, like it becoming a big part of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's actually a good kind of segue to the next little part I wanted to talk about for each of you guys. Is what does Kendama mean to you, Aiden?
Really, to me, it means really an expression, like an outlet of like creativity. It's more so of like a way to express yourself and kind of just a way to have your own independence in some aspects and own your own style of play kind of thing. And it's just been important in finding your own creativity, and that's like kind of rolls over to other aspects in your life and, you know, kind of makes those aspects better and kind of allows you to grow as a person. But
yeah,
I mean, and it's been able to really kind of let me expand on my my competitive side. I haven't really found an outlet for my competitive side growing up. I mean, I did play
sports or anything?
I played baseball growing up, but I mean,
ever since
I
you guys
stopped,
can't see him, but he's hella tall. He's
6'4"
got the
guys.
long arms. Yes, he's hella tall. That is statutory hella tall. So you get the long arms, those baseball swings.
Surprisingly, I was actually a catcher.
Oh yeah. Okay. I can see it a lot of ways. Honestly, you got to reach.
Yeah.
I mean,
my
makes you an all-star.
my knees started to give out. But I say my knees started to give out, and then I pick up kendama as a hobby. Ironically, right?
Savage.
But it's kind of allowed me to grow my strength in my legs back, you know, kind of after playing baseball for so long, just kind of lost my strength, but slowly getting it back.
It's interesting because I notice a lot of baseball players find kendama interesting.
Yeah, the way I really picked up juggling, which is funny. I would sit in the dugout and I would juggle two baseballs right next to each other, and I would find out how to get them in like a column. So when I picked up kendama, juggling was kind of like...
Yeah, you remembered how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get those muscle memory. Awesome.
It was like a little bit of juggling in baseball. It's just like when you're bored, a lot of free time, you know?
Yeah, for sure. When you're just sitting there waiting for someone to strike out. I mean, to hit the ball.
But I have noticed that like a lot of baseball players do seem to find their way towards a kendama at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not talking about myself, but I'm talking about myself for a second. When I worked with Kendama USA for a while on their education stuff, and we would go to trade shows for that education stuff, and I would often talk to the teachers about that aspect, like, because the hand-eye coordination and the mental focus is like so similar to hitting a ball, I guess, with a bat. You know, you're using utensil to do it too, and all these kind of little things.
Hand-eye coordination.
I just noticed it was always like really strong with the baseball group. Yeah. Not soccer, not football, not baseball, or not basketball, baseball.
You gotta find the lacrosse homies. That's where
it's true. Actually,
because I played lacrosse. I used to do. We'll get into my story, but I used to do stick tricks and stuff with lacrosse and hockey, and those are both like extension of the arm kind of sports. And I think kendama is very much the same, like hand-eye coordination, but not your hand. It's like a stick.
Yeah, you're using you're ending up with something that is an extension of your hands, more or less.
Like I would sit waiting to go inside and take batting practice. I would balance the baseball bat on my fingers and try to flip it around and catch it on the other side and like go in between each finger. It's just like I always had like an interest in like balance stuff, you know? Little balance games that I would kind of make in my own head, and that's like perfect for kendama, you know.
Speaking of like balance stuff, so what is your play style? Like how would you define your play style?
I don't know. I don't know if we can really define it. I kind of like to dabble in a bunch of types of play, but I would say the least amount of stuff that I do would be string tricks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tend to focus more on like balance tricks and stalls, and I kind of
Like you
tend to
pick
lean
up a
towards
kendama right now. First trick. What do you do?
inward lunar probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that says a lot about a kendama player. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I just like when we first got into kendama, lunar was just becoming like a bigger thing because like I guess the shapes of the kendama were getting better and it was getting easier to learn, and so that was becoming more frequent in the scene is in the lunar stuff. So I just found myself gravitating towards lunar tricks and finding it interesting that people were starting to expand more on the lunar tricks as opposed to other tricks that people have been doing pretty frequently. But
so yeah, you definitely like to play those kind of balanced
yeah,
lunar,
and
like,
I enjoy
jungle tricks,
especially
you
like
do.
watching kendama. I enjoy watching like tech tricks. I would say like quick bangers or maybe just like an edit of bangers, you know, not necessarily like although I do enjoy watching people who can flow, you know. It's definitely interesting, definitely creative for sure. But definitely enjoy my balance tricks and yeah.
So what is your current setup right now? What kendama are you playing the most?
Right now, I'm rocking the Nobu mod.
Nobu mod?
Yeah, I'm loving the shift shape, dude. It is definitely my top 3 for sure. I'm also digging the Sweets boost shape. I know it's been pretty popular recently, but
The one with the base cup hole or one without?
I say with base cup hole.
Yeah,
just
but you
'cause,
would say
like,
that's when you've been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Personal
been-
opinion: the base cup hole is way better than the non-base cup.
Yeah.
I don't like gunslingers
That
anyways.
is debatable with some people. You don't like base cup holes?
I definitely like base cup holes. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
you're
Yeah,
saying,
base
yeah.
cup holes all the way. Lunars don't play gunslingers very well, so
Yeah.
I'm definitely with you on that.
It's cool to see more mods coming out with that kind of thought into it, you know, of trying to make it a better balanced kendama and trying to have companies come out with product that's all around a good kendama, you know.
Yeah, which has been like honestly for most of the time I've been playing kendama, that's never really how it's been. It's like you either have a gunslinger dama or you have a lunar dama. Like you usually have a dama that's good for something a little more specific, because it is really hard because of this is a natural made product more or less. It's really hard to make it always good for everything.
This is true.
A lot of times because of the weights, but even because of the grains and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just wood being so inconsistent.
Yeah, just
really.
wood being
Yeah, for sure.
wood. It's natural, or I wouldn't say organic, but it's definitely natural. It's an organic material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes that's a big thing. Boost boost
Boost shape.
holes.
What about you, Nick? What are you rocking with right now?
Kendamas? Lots of them. No, I only play the one at a time right now. I'm personally playing I think 2017 Cushion C. Fraser Tama with a hickory shift craft.
Okay.
That actually, Ryan Kaut, Mihaela on Kendama USA, she picked this Ken out for me, which is super nice of her. I was bugging. I'm like, I need to find a perfect Ken for this Tama.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got you. She was just chilling at the Kendama USA place, or the
it was
Kendama USA
super
Way
cool
House,
meeting
just
her.
like not being able to do anything because she's like, she needs a ride to do things, and it's like $1 billion to Uber anywhere in Atlanta. So
Yeah, she was super cool.
Yeah.
First time meeting her in Atlanta, she was able to make it out, which was super cool.
yeah, second time for her being here. And she's like super down to
Yeah,
earth,
really
super cool
good
person.
people. It's really good people.
It's so awesome too that Mihaela was able to come out during like at least one part of ATLO. I at first when she announced like the dates she was coming around, that was the time when I was deciding the dates for ATLO. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh no, you're not gonna be able to make it! I'm so pissed." Like I thought she was leaving probably like that Saturday in the morning, but it worked out.
Yeah, it did
So
work
you
out.
guch got to meet her, which is
Yeah, it was definitely a good time.
yeah.
ATLO was a really good time.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have to talk about all that stuff too in a future one. All right, Aiden. Sick. So now you guys know Aiden. He is a nerd.
What up? What up?
He
That
loves
is me.
Kendama. 2 years in, he's definitely one of the rising homies in Georgia. We're all obviously from Georgia. If you guys don't already know, that's kind of why it's called Georgia Kendama Radio. We don't only talk about Georgia stuff. In fact, most of I would say 90% of the stuff we talk about is not specifically Georgia related. But that's where we are. And Aiden's definitely been rising the past couple of years and progressing like crazy. So super glad
appreciate it, man.
He's got his perspective out here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah. All right, Nick, I want to hear all about you. Let me tell you, super glad to have you here. First of all, Nick is super big into media creation, and I say that like vaguely because he's pretty much good at all like media creation, I would say. If you haven't seen his stuff, he's got, I mean, just check out his Instagram, like I said, nickfish.tv or nickfish TV.
Right,
yeah, nickfish.tv. He's just like, he's been reposted by a bunch of people that, like Konami say and stuff, just because he makes great stuff. So, Nick, super glad to have you on the cast.
Appreciate that, y'all. And I'm trying to up the audio production here a little bit, so I've got us on different mics and trying some stuff out here. But yeah, I'm super into media. I made it to Atlanta because I went to school down in Savannah. I went to art school at SCAD.
SCAD, oh my god.
So
if you guys don't know, sorry,
Go ahead.
if you guys don't know SCAD, SCAD is probably one of the, it's definitely the best art school in Georgia and one of the best in like the country.
Yeah.
Everybody I know from SCAD just is amazing things.
It's a great school. I really wish I'd found Kendama when I was at school because so many people would have loved it. And the custom painted damas I would have got out of that. Oh man, it would have been so cool. But yeah, I made it to Atlanta for media production. There's a lot of video work out here, and I'm not in the TV and film industry necessarily, but that's here. There's a lot of other good video work here. So I've been out here for 5-6 years and didn't find Kendama until 2+ years ago. Like Aiden was saying, our stories kind of are one and the same. I found Kendama about a month before he did, and it was a Duncan Komodo was the first Kendama
from Target.
Nice. It's not a bad first Kendama.
No, actually,
honestly.
I mean the paint super slick, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
there
It
wasn't
had
much
some
else
sort of
out
tracking.
As long as as long as it wasn't those like crappy like the whole slicked crackle ones you can find on Amazon for $6.
Yeah, not that. Yeah.
Those, when I see kids playing, I'm like, oh,
It's just one you're trying to learn like around Europe on or something like that.
Yeah.
Around Japan, you know?
Yeah.
Just like simple
It
tricks.
was a
Totally
great
works.
Dama. You're right, Aiden. Like it had tracking. Like I got a red with 3 blue stripes. I think was the one I got, and they had a couple colorways. But I don't know. We were about to go to a music festival, and I'd seen Kendamas in some YouTube videos. I watched some YouTubers that skateboard, and they were playing with them, and I didn't know what it was, but I knew it looked fun because, like I said, I did lacrosse stick tricks, and I was like, that looks just like doing a little stall with the ball. And so I knew I wanted one, but then fast forward a month after seeing that video, and I'm at Target buying camping stuff to go to this music festival, and my friend's like, oh, a Kendama, and holds it up, and I'm like, that's what that is. Oh, that's the thing. So it was $10, and of course I bought it.
Oh yeah.
And I took it to this camping festival where I'm out there for like 4 days in the sun, and I just had so much fun with this thing, playing cups, learning Moshikame, watching YouTube videos. Found the Kendama Ninja video, was blown away. But then someone grabbed my Kendama, was like, oh, I used to play one of these back in high school, and they did a Tama grip trick, and like
blew your mind.
Blew my
Yeah,
mind.
like, oh, you can hold it that way?
No way, like an airplane, or obviously Lighthouse is like the craziest looking thing when you first see one, but that Dama was in no way good for those tricks, but I definitely like learned and tried, and once we got back from that festival, I think Aiden got into it shortly after that, and we ended up at we're lucky enough to have the Kendama USA warehouse here, so we were able to go down there instead of like just copying some stuff online or getting the crackled Amazon Dama. We went down there, and I got like a Chrome Deluxe or half split or something, and just got like super into it. If you ask Chewbacca Ryan Plord, he would tell you exactly when we came and what we got. Like, it's a great memory for customers at the Kusa warehouse. But
No, seriously.
I think like immediately when you go to the Kusa warehouse, at least how it used to be set up, we got to play with like this super jumbo tributes, and like we just got so into Kendama.
You walked into this huge glass display of colorful Kendamas, and that was such a sight to see when you were first getting into it, you know. You had only seen the ones at Target. And then you go into this, and just getting into it, you know, I had known Kendama USA was one of the biggest companies in the world, really, and finding out that their headquarters was in Marietta, which is only like a 40-minute drive from our house, I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and finally getting to go in, it was like such a stoked moment, you know.
That last warehouse was probably one of the best Kendama warehouses ever.
Awesome.
Like Sweets' warehouse is definitely sick. It's a little harder to get, I guess, into because you have to go up some weird stairs and stuff. But their Dama shelf is definitely more savage.
Yeah.
In some ways. But yeah, I remember working there and like seeing the stoke on people's faces when they came and like, oh, Kendama.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like, since I come from like a creative perspective, I've always been really into the collection side of kendama and the artistic side of kendama. Like, if I had damas at SCAD, I would have bought natties and had people paint them like crazy. It would have been so cool. So walking into the Kusa warehouse, there was like a stove kendama. There was like custom burns and stuff they used to have for sale. I think they had some custom burn stuff, Kaizen's up at the time. And so you could see all of that in person and see all these different colorways.
Like and glass cases full of history.
Yeah,
Dama's stuff that wasn't for sale, just like history of Dama stuff. But then you get to play with the jumbos and you meet this community. We met Chewbacca and he was like telling us how to do lunars. And so from there it turned into like this is a skill toy that replaces skateboarding in my garage to this is like a new community for me.
It's a community,
This is I can have my friends over and we can jam on something instead of going to the skate park or instead of playing hacky sack. Like I've done all the things that are similar to Dama leading up to it. So I think it was just a matter of time before I found kendama. And I say like, I think I was meant to find it at some point because 2 years before I found it, my brother worked with Matt Sweet's brother. He just randomly for a hockey team somewhere in the north. And then a couple years, maybe a year before I found kendama or something, I hooked up with this video guy in the industry. We started doing some work together, and he ended up selling me some video lights and told me, oh, I'm good friends with Jeremy from Kendama USA, and I saw that you play kendama, and he sells me these lights, these video lights, and says these were actually used in the first Kusa Pro Model videos. I helped Jero out as a favor. And if you go way back on YouTube, you can actually see he is credited on those videos, the old Kusa videos. So in my garage, I have these like super old, hot, bright white lights that are from the original Kusa videos that you can find on YouTube still. So it was a matter of time before I found kendama for sure. But now that I'm into it, like, I collect like crazy. I'm always scrolling through the new drops and critiquing the design on stuff and watching the edits and blown away by stuff like Fringe Case and the amount of editing that goes into that, and would love to just like break down kendama on a creative level. So that's really where like my passion lies in the scene. And of course I play like crazy, try to get at least an hour in every day if I can, get better skills, but I'm all about like super dope edits. And that's where you said I've been reposted by Kusa. That was me combining my two passions. I did a really cool, when I got my Dave Pro Mod, I did a really cool motion graphics piece that displayed the aesthetics of the Pro Mod and my trick that I did with the Pro Mod, but behind it had kind of purple gems and the logos that were on the cups and stuff. So I just love to combine my two passions in any way, and kendama's really been a great outlet to do that.
Yeah, I mean it's kendama is a lot to a lot of people. Which is why I've been asking you guys, what it means to you. Obviously, for you, it means a great creative outlet, and that's actually kind of similar to what you were saying too, Aiden.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to take it, and I think that's why kendama can go so much farther than a lot of skill toys. That's why I can even, we can even consider it a sport, because it's just like there's so many aspects to it to where you can really use it the way you want to.
And I think one of the biggest aspects of the whole thing is the community. And is the people, and how accepting everybody is, and how different the community is compared to other communities that I've, Well,
I said skateboarding, and that was one of my least, and you talked about baseball even, like that's a team sport, which is different than an individual thing.
It's crazy how all these different communities are like just completely different. And
like being a new skater and trying to go to the skate park is the most intimidating thing.
It's a lot more intimidating than going to a kendama jam and picking up kendama and trying big up, Like
you're telling me I'm holding my board wrong before I even step on it, and then I push on it and I'm pushing with the wrong foot, and I'm Mongo and I suck.
And everyone's like basically looking at you and mentally shitting on you.
Judgmental,
Which I wouldn't say that everybody in skateboarding is like that way.
For sure.
People are definitely like super into other people learning it if they're like really into it, but
there are people out there like that.
It's hard to get into it. Yeah, there's definitely an intimidation factor that I felt with it. That was my personal experience, or at least the skate parks out here. But yeah, it's also a lot safer than skateboarding when I work in media. Like I'm not going to, hopefully don't break my wrist playing kendama. It's totally possible. But yeah, it's a much safer hobby and more accepting overall than the other sort of hobbies I've tried, skill sports I've tried.
And it's also super important is the inclusion factor. Is not having that intimidation sense. When you're going to play kendama, you want everybody to feel included. And I thought Danye did a very good job of expressing that and kind of spreading that word, because that is a very important part in this community. Making everybody feel welcomed, and that's what spreads the love, that's what gets it in more hands, and that's what keeps people playing is the support,
Yeah. I'm not going to get into myself again. Doing this thing
Go ahead,
again.
bro.
I'm not going to get into myself yet, but that's a big reason why I do what I do with Kendama. Is just like the community part of it just naturally is so positive, and I really wanted to make that more of a thing.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's great.
It's awesome to be a part of that positivity, be able to spread it onto different people and see that reaction, and see that when you're trying kendama, it's nothing but smiles and laughter. That's all you see people doing, and it's just fun. It's something. It's just fun that you can spread.
Or the rage quitting and throwing the dama across the lake. But
that comes later.
It's definitely
You don't introduce people to that side of kendama. No.
All right, Nick. What kendama are you playing right now?
Ooh, right now, Aiden mentioned the boost shape. I got the, I did not make it to NAKO, but I did cop the Sweets swag bag that they put on the website.
Nice.
Because I wanted one of the boost shapes. So I got the NAKO Boost Ken. The Tama that came with it is beautiful and amazing, but was horribly weight matched. It was
they're always
15 grams heavy, which I'm not mad about it. These were leftover damas from an event. I'm not going to go on FKC and post about it. I just switched my setup. I'm all into Franken damas, so I grabbed another Sweets Tama to put on top of it. I've got the Sweets V10 Mocha, or no, it's called the Hot Chocolate.
Yeah, Hot Chocolate.
It's sort of like a 3-stripe or 3-split black, gold, white. It's beautiful, cushion clear.
Didn't that one come with a Zebrano Ken?
Came with a Zebrano Ken.
Beautiful kendama. I got 2 of them, honestly. I just wanted to shelf one of them.
This Tama was Aiden's.
Was it?
Yeah, I traded Aiden some setup for this, and actually the Zebrano Ken that I got is beautiful. It's super heavy, and I play it every once in a while. Actually, through the Nako Tama on top of that. They're more weight matched. So yeah, I just sort of swapped these out and threw a nice red string on it, nice and long, because I'm doing juggle tricks lately. But this boost shape is ridiculous for especially inward lunars. I've been trying to grind 1, 2, 3 inward lunar flip, and got my first consistency, close to consistency on 2s yesterday. It was a good day on those. 3s, we'll figure that out eventually. But this is my favorite setup right now. My other setup that I rock is I just got a Craft Plus, the shift shape. So I've been rocking that. Got a nice weight match setup with that and really love that. But since I've been doing lunar stuff, I want some paint and grip right now. But if I'm rocking my multi jugs and doing late jugs and stuff, I'm grabbing my plus size and trying to hone in on that a little.
Shift shape though.
The pluses are so fun.
Pluses are very fun.
It's just the right amount of size for it to be better for balance tricks and especially doing lighthouse stuff. But it's
I wish that was the standard
overwieldy.
Because I'm 6'4", I got big hands.
It just when the Vikings had come out, you probably would have been like, let's go, this is all I'm doing now.
Dude, I'm super stoked for, this is a tangent, but super stoked for the mid-size pills, because it's going to be that happy medium, like a slight plus size. It's not a jumbo dama, it's not a regular size, it's somewhere right in the middle, just like these Craft Plus, or like the Mateo mod was the first plus size that I played and really loved it. So that's why I went for the Craft Plus, and I do love it. I think it's much easier to get your hand around it for juggles, or I learned late jugs this past week, and it just was a lot easier for me to catch and hold that base cup and do another flip when I had a little bit more real estate on it. So I've been kind of switching back and forth between those 2 damas this week at least. But
that's awesome.
If you guys didn't hear, they're releasing that medium-sized medium-sized pill. Sorry.
That's right. Yeah, I was a Dama nerd. Shout out. Alex Smith dropped that dime on Dama Nerds. Let everybody know they're making
shout out Dama Nerds.
I bet Shonef Chris will be the first one to have one. I hope blow our minds with it. I hope they do.
They need to sponsor.
If anybody,
I feel like they
need to sponsor.
Definitely another tangent, but if anybody, I don't know if any of you guys remember Guy Wright.
do not.
Okay, so Guy Wright was the first and only ever pill sponsored player, by obviously Terra. Super sick with the pill, but he played with it. He was pro for like a year, and I say that because he like stopped playing.
Do they still
anything.
have a pill team? Because I know they had like a pill team for a while.
Well, the thing is, he has his own pro pill.
Okay.
And they made a big banner and stuff for him too,
Yeah.
like trying to support it or promote it.
Okay.
But he just kind of like dropped
Fell
off.
Yeah.
But if anybody needs to take that title back, the new
Chris.
pro pill, it needs to be shown off Chris.
Yeah.
Love
He's
his creativity.
so cool.
If you guys do not follow him, please go follow him.
Oh yeah, with the
My
Kendama
Ken
and the
folk.
pill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Both of them.
The
Ken
Ken folk. You will find him underneath any good clip saying my Ken
My
folk.
Ken folk, yeah.
Go follow
That's
the dude.
honestly even easier than doing like shonuff_Chris.
Yeah, you can just find him in the comments section.
Yeah, just find him in the comment section of like a good
Yeah.
clip.
He is
Mike
like
Info.
the epitome of the Instagram community. Like we
Yeah.
talk about how the in-person community is great. We're lucky to have the Coosa warehouse and to be able to like get some of that in person and events and whatnot. But Instagram's so big in this community, and he's
Oh, yeah.
one of the people that just drives that forward and makes you feel so welcome. And like any minor lace is like a banger. He's
Yeah.
it makes you hyped up on your own shit for sure.
Yeah,
And
he's
I
super
love that
cool.
about him. Yeah.
And he's definitely like good positive energy, like whether it's in person or not. Like I love Chris. He's a good guy.
I don't think he lives super far from us.
Tennessee, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he lives in I think
I don't know how
maybe
I know
northern
that,
or
but-
eastern Tennessee.
Yeah.
He went to Battle of the Border this
That's right.
most recent year, and yeah, I met him. He's super cool. He didn't
Yeah.
live very far from Nashville.
Somewhere
Hopefully,
in the
if he's there, I'll be
southeast.
looking forward to meeting him.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. Hopefully, both of you guys will go to Battle of the Border, which
Yeah.
I guess another tangent. We're gonna get lots of tangents from this, but
It's
Battle of
okay.
the Border it was announced for I believe the 3rd and 4th of January,
Mhm.
which is standard first weekend of January. So if you're listening to this podcast, you need to go. You have to go. It's personally, I love Nico. I've been there for the past 3 years, but Battle of the Border easily hits
where you
the same
feel at
amount of
home.
fun for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're listening to this and you have the ability at all to go, you should go for sure. And obviously you too need to go.
Yes.
Yeah, and just a note on that, like I'll say, I didn't make it out to ATLO, even though I'm so close to it. I was super sick that week. But I'll say, even with like jams and competitions, early on I had this like mindset that if I wasn't ready to compete, I wasn't going to go. But
Yeah, I know.
I want people, like if there's any people just getting into Kendama listening to this, like don't compete or do compete and just go. Like just treat it as a jam and just
Yes.
go and meet the homies.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
people
Mostly
always
for the
say
fun.
like you just
Yeah.
you walk around and meet Kendama homies, you're gonna see some of your like favorite Kendama players. Like I was jamming with Christian Fraser at the most
Yeah.
recent mod or the most recent jam
Yeah.
here, and like
He's such a humble dude, and people would be, hesitant on walking up to him and talking to him, but he's a really good guy,
yeah, and if you're working on your first lighthouse flip, he's gonna help you. Like
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, yeah.
like, he doesn't
He's got the
he doesn't
tips.
care that he can do a triple first tee. It's like he's gonna help you with your first one ever. And I think that's just something worth mentioning about events. Like as someone that is not super skilled in Kendama, it can be intimidating for sure. I know it
Yeah.
firsthand, but you should totally go and just vibe, and you'll probably have your best day of playing
Oh,
Kendama
yeah, ever.
because you're just
Yeah.
so inspired by people
Yes.
and they push you to do better. So
And just seeing what's possible.
and you
Get
leave
out
from
there.
these places wanting
To keep playing after
Exactly.
4 to 5 hours.
Exactly.
It's
You
like
think-
when you're
you
a
think you'd be
kid.
tired of it, but you just
No.
want to keep going. It's
did you ever
more
go see
inspiration.
like you go see Spider-Man as a kid and you run out of the theater and you're
It's
like,
like,
trying
gee,
to cling to the walls? Like I am
Parkour.
Spider-Man. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel after Dama events. I come home and I'm like,
I can do this.
I
Yeah.
am as good as Josh Kim, who I just jammed with, and I'm not.
We're
but-
all
Yep.
good as Josh Kim.
Yeah.
We all can do that stuff.
Another person we're super fortunate to have in the
Yeah.
ATL scene lately.
Yeah, so glad
Yeah,
Josh
shout out
moved down
Josh
here.
Kim.
Yeah.
That's that boy.
So you guys know November 9th is small business or neighborhood toy store day. So the same place we went to for that last jam, we'll have another jam
Awesome.
with like Josh Kim is like the headliner. Like he's here.
Cool.
It's
Sweet.
Josh.
Yeah, our
this
last
past-
last jam was at a toy shop, which is a great place for jams.
Yeah.
We mentioned that, Nick, on an older podcast. Like, if you're hosting a jam, throwing a jam, toy shops are great.
Yeah, find a local toy shop that has Kendama or doesn't have Kendama, and I'm willing to bet that they're gonna be down.
I know
to
at
do
that
something.
jam we sold at least one kendama for them.
Yeah.
His homie showed up without his kendama.
Yeah, that was so
I had
funny.
to
He's
buy
like,
one.
yeah, he was asking me, he's like, I need to get a kendama. Where to find a kendama? I'm like, I got you. Let's go. And he's like, which one should I get? I'm like, dude, you should definitely get the penguin one.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want to get the penguin one. Like,
He beat me in a
yeah.
game of Ken with it.
Oh, you? What a savage.
He's got 2 years on me. That's
What a
his.
savage.
He had
Oh,
some-
really?
He beat me on a gypsy flip. I've never tried a gypsy flip, so I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, that
respect.
kid's so crazy good, but like he never ever comes to jams, which is
He was at the Ponce Jam when
Yeah.
I couldn't even play because unfortunately I hurt my left hand.
Yeah,
Or my
Dude,
right hand, sorry.
Yeah, he's one of those. There's a lot of hermits in Georgia that just, I don't know why, they just don't come out. I'm like,
That's what I'm saying.
every
Get out
other
to the
weekend is a
jam.
jam. Like I do it on purpose. Every other weekend, I don't know if I need to put like a calendar out or something.
Some
but,
people just can't, or some
I
people
used
just
to
don't
be
have the
that homie.
dedication
I don't care.
towards it, you know? I don't care.
I don't
Come out to these.
We're trying to
You better
build
be
the
there.
best damn community in Dama.
Yeah.
Georgia's scene is definitely rising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
This
gotta go.
last turnout was really good at the Kendama Jam. At
Oh
the,
my God, it
the
was
Toy
great.
Story was awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of it was, especially for Dave Mateo, you know,
Yeah.
everybody showing their condolences, but it was awesome. You know,
Yeah.
it was the biggest turnout since I've been around, since probably the Creep It Real tour, which was
Yeah,
really
actually.
big in Atlanta.
Yeah. And I
You
guess
guys go to the Kusa Instagram page where they reposted the photo of our jam on there with the purple.
with the purple
Yep.
on it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's our Georgia Dama.
Squad.
Yeah,
It was
that's
a
the
big squad that day. It was like 27 people,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I guess that's a good segue to get into my part. Like, if you don't know who I am, my name is Nick Dodenhoff. At NickDrummer20 on Instagram. I've been playing a little bit longer than these guys, 8 years now, and
Just a little bit.
yeah, a little bit.
Just 4 times longer.
You would think I'd be like crazy good too.
It's
like,
okay,
compared
we
to
all
them,
got
like,
the
no, not
same
really.
No,
love
you're
for the
crazy
game.
honed on stuff.
I'm honed on certain stuff
Yeah.
Yes.
and consistent on other things, but not. You guys definitely got some stuff on me. But yeah, so I've been playing for 8 years. I think it's about to be 2020. I started in 2011, 2012. My high school kind of blew up with it, and all my friends were playing. I'm like, all right, I think you guys are lame. 2 weeks later, all right, this is sick. Let me get one.
Mm-hmm.
That classic story. Like, I don't know about it, and then you're like, all right, let's go in. And it was actually the perfect time because everyone blew up. Ed blew up in the fall of that year in school. And so for Christmas break, I got a kendama. I mean, you get about a week, 2 weeks off in Georgia for Christmas Christmas break. So me and my 2 best friends, we made ended in a half of just, that's all we did. We spent time playing Dama. It was
That's super
so
cool.
sick.
So I got a question. What was the scene? What was your perspective on the scene when you first got into it?
So
Did
shout
you
out to
dig
Christian
deep into
Freak.
that?
Yeah, I was. So as soon as I started to get into kendama, I wanted to do more. And the first time I ever really interacted with the scene, quote, air quote, whatever, was actually Dama Fest,
Dama Fest.
which
Okay.
is kind of like a lot to handle all at once. It's like someone now like just getting into kendama for like the first 6 months, not really ever meeting someone that plays kendama, and then just going to NACO. It's like holy shit.
yeah.
And then that was that big. Dama Fest at the time was the only like national for international people kendama event, which is actually at the Cobb Galleria in 2011 and 2012, or it might have been 2012 and 2013. And
Here in
but yeah, that was
Georgia,
my
right?
first here in Georgia, Cobb
Cobb.
County, Cobb Galleria over in Marietta, same city that Kendama USA is, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got into that and I was like, holy crap, Kendama people are cool. I'm not nearly as cool as any of them. Had Colin Sanders, Zach Yord, and Turner Thorne all signed with Kendama. Never played that Kendama again after that because I'm like, holy this is, yeah. I actually, I guess forwards or whatever, back to when I graduated with my degree in public relations, I wore that black kendama signed by them on my gown and everything like that as I walked the stage, which my family was like, why'd you do that? I'm like, you don't understand, it means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
It means a lot. So but yeah, that's so I'm playing since then. Kendama to me means definitely community. So I'm the guy that kind of runs events in Georgia now. Like if any if any event more than like 4 people happens in Georgia, it's probably because of me,
Mm-hmm.
or probably I at least know about it.
Shout out Nick Drummer.
Yeah, I guess. And the reason why I even do that is because I went to Dama Fest and I was sick, and then for a while, the Sweets guys, Willie and Frazier, they were doing Sweets jams, and they just called them, I think they call it GA Dama Player Jams or something like that.
Okay.
You can scroll way back on some of their Instagrams and you'll see whatever that was called, but yeah, they did that for like 2 years, and it was awesome. We had a lot of people playing then too, a lot of OG people. Obviously Frazier and Willie being some of the OGiest, Matt Dakota, a lot of local people that not everybody in this podcast would know, but a lot of really cool Kanawha players that have come to fruition in different ways now. And that was sick, and I loved doing those, and those were the times, especially when my friends, the fad kind of stopped, because for Kanawha, as you guys may or may not know, depending on who it is listening to this podcast, it gets to be a fad for a lot of communities. And when I say communities, I mean like cities. Mm-hmm. It goes up and goes down, and that's kind of it. We saw that in Romania, we saw it in Latvia, we saw that in Hawaii, X place. It does that a lot, because it's super fun to get into, but then not that many people have the patience to get real good at it, and I think that's what it is. There's not a system set up to get them to give them the patience to show them that you can achieve. I don't know, which is a whole other conversation. But at that time, my friends were dropping off Kanawha, so those Sweets jams were like the thing. I was like, I could just see people that play Kanawha. Let's go! Yep. It was awesome. It was sick. And then I think I dropped off even myself a little bit. At one point, playing Kanawha for like a few months, got back into it, and I think it was my first year of college, and actually it was my last year of high school, and I was like, where are the jams? Where are the jams? They weren't happening anymore. Frazier was super busy with his work. I think Willie was either just finishing school, or he just couldn't do it himself. So because of that, I guess the jams had stopped, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll post on Instagram, even though I only have 80 followers, and see if anyone wants to come out. And I did, and it was so rough.
Yeah. So
rough at the beginning. We would do it at Kennesaw State University, and it would literally, for the first month or 3, it would just be me and one other dude.
Yeah.
Who doesn't unfortunately play Kanawha anymore, but yeah, it would be just us. And it was good enough for me. I was like, all right, I get to meet up with someone.
That's good to hear. Like, I'm glad it started with someone, with the persistence to keep it going and get it to the point where it's at right now, because it's, it's helpful in this community for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was helpful having that one guy at least, because I would have been, I wasn't too discouraged that not more people came, and more people had not come to those. But if if it was just me, I would have been like, dude, I don't know.
I thought I was talking to Christian Frazier at the gym, and I thought a little piece of information that he shared with me was pretty funny. That when he started up, he would have, I guess he had been playing a couple of years more than his group of friends, and he would have his group of friends come and pay for kendama lessons. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, he would basically host kendama lessons for, I think it was like $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Just come in, and
that sounds.
He said eventually people just stopped paying for it, and that turned into a jam. Yeah, basically. So.
Yeah, that sounds honestly like something that would have happened, because, me and Frazier came from the same area in Georgia, where it really blew up, and people were so into it, and that area is fairly affluent. There's some good schools and stuff like that there, so some moms had money, so I'm sure people were like, yeah, $5 for Kanawha lessons, that's the thing right now. Yeah, let's go.
I wish people would host them, that'd be super cool for people getting into it,
Yeah.
Maybe you should, Aiden.
Yeah, maybe one day.
I would pay for lessons from you. Sure.
We'd end up jamming most of the time.
Yeah, basically, right? That's how it happens now. But basically, after those couple months, I had Ryan Plory Jubaka, which Nick mentioned earlier, come out. He was like, hey, what are we doing? We were like, playing kendama. He's like, I love kendama. So he came out, he brought Frazier, and then it was all kind of like a big, it went exponentially from there, honestly. I think the first moment that I was actually proud of myself for doing any of that stuff was one jam we had at Kennesaw where Zach Yord actually came out.
Oh, wow.
He was just in town. And so he came. We had the most people we ever had come. We had a bunch of people from Kennesaw State
Was it
come.
announced that he was coming, or did he just show up?
No, he just showed up. I'm like, holy shit,
There was still a
this
good amount of
guy's
people
here.
coming.
You signed my kendama back on me, dude. It was it was crazy, and we all went to eat after, which was also crazy. We went to like one of the local wing place here, and Frazier personally he was talking to me. He was like, Nick, I want to personally thank you for doing these. I know I've slacked off, in his words at least, on doing them. I obviously I was like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, of course, I love kendama, man, and that's why I do it now. So
that's awesome.
That's why I'm like in Italy, so I'm Italian, but in Italy they call like a boss, like the head of a community, like the boss. And shout out Dario in Rome. But we call him the kendama boss, but I internally sometimes I guess I call myself like kind of Georgia Dama boss.
Have your own little empire.
Yeah, my little thing. I mean, like I said,
I thought the Romanian
I love running
king
all
was
this stuff.
Wase.
Huh?
I guess he's also a Romanian king.
Yeah, he is in Romania.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what kendama means to me. Community. I think we already talked about it. I'm rocking a very sick Georgia Kendama related Dama, that C. Frazier with the hickory Ken. I even got a little Georgia peach burned into it. That's actually going to be my thing from now on.
Yeah,
I'm going to have my fiance just burn that into every Kendama I play. That way no one of you fuckers can see. No, but like...
I thought it was cool how they, shout out little Georgia boys. There's a little squad from Georgia, also out here repping.
Love those kids.
Yeah, they came out with their own batch of paint, and they collabed with Soul, if you guys didn't see. But I thought it was super cool how they had the Georgia peach engraving on the other side of the can.
Yeah, Chad had hit me up. He's like, hey, can I use this peach? And I was like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he put it on there.
Yeah.
And that batch sold out in 6 hours, guys.
Yeah, no, I missed it.
I missed it too. And I'm so pissed because I gave him the peach to put on the dang thing.
Can't we just hit up Chad and get another run of them? Like, we gotta.
They gotta paint them. Chad and Owen, they're working on stuff. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Yeah, they were repping. They were talking about it at the last jam. They were talking about what paint is better than theirs.
Yeah.
According to Christian Frazier, there's only one better than Sweets. And it was not theirs.
It was Kendama Israel's Rhino Clear.
Yeah.
Rhino
or
Clear?
Is there rubber?
Rhino,
he said it was the
Rhino rubber.
Said it might have been the rubber right before the Rhino, but Rhino Clear is definitely a solid Kendama paint.
Yeah, we don't get too many of those out here because
no.
It's just hard to get anything in and out of Israel, whether it's a person or it's a kendama.
Yeah, I think I have a few Israel kendamas, and they definitely each took around a month to get here.
Yeah, they go through customs up, down.
I don't think you get tracking the whole way.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think you probably just have to hope and pray. Like,
I'm just an impatient person,
out here.
Especially when it comes to kendama. I guess I wouldn't say I'm an impatient person, but I'm impatient when it comes to buying a kendama.
Yeah, we all are.
Exactly.
We all live in a...
Kendama teaches me the patience.
We all live in a century where Amazon Prime exists, 2-day shipping on like 90% of things you want to buy. So it's hard to like buy a kendama and then just like sit there for a month and wait.
Yeah. We're lucky that we have the Kusa warehouse, but it's only
for us especially.
Their hours are kind of like their hours are like my working hours, so it's hard
not
for me
open
to
on the
get.
weekends.
So I've ended up ordering stuff, and then I'm like impatient. I'm like, how long does it take a Dama to go from Georgia to Georgia? I live an hour north of Atlanta. I should have just drove and got it, but that's okay.
Well,
people are ordering Kendama USA from everywhere.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But they are fairly quick with it. Like they're tracking.
Yeah, they are.
They're tracking for us. We'll say 3 days, but then it'll show up
like a day or two. Yeah, easily.
Sure.
It always does that. And
shout out Kendama USA.
Yeah, shout out Kendama USA. And also, if anybody in Georgia comes to jams, I've already said this before to people there, but if you ever need a Kendama USA Dama, you just let me know. And I live 6 minutes from the warehouse, so I can always pick one up, bring one to the jam. Whatever it is, and most of the time, depending on, unless it's like a craft or something specific, like a crom or something like that, Kendama USA will even let me sell it for wholesale, which means half the money goes to Georgia Kendama. which is
Nice.
doing big things for Georgia Kendama. A lot coming up, and I won't get too much into that because lots of secret stuff.
It's on the hush hush, you know what I'm saying?
Hush hush, yeah. So, but yeah, so that's me. That's Kendama. That's what's going on. So yeah, thank you. First of all, guys, that is our introduction to us. I hope so far you're not too bored listening to this. But we want to definitely have like an introduction.
Yeah, get to know us a little bit.
Yeah,
we're some new peoples.
Who we are.
Some
You guys
new voices.
might know me if you've listened to Georgia Kendama, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to make sure our two newest hosts are well acquainted with y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
I look like Rod, but I'm more like MJ. I got locks like Rod, but
Yeah, I don't know how to explain Aiden. He's just
I'm just
tall
a tall boy,
dude.
tall Kendama player.
He
That's
looks
me.
like the dude from what's that movie?
You know how many times I've gotten called Colin Sanders?
Oh my God, you do kind of look like Colin
People
Sanders.
tell me I look like the young Colin
Like-
Sanders all the
like
time.
a very thin.
It's the
Colin
beard,
Sanders,
yeah. It's the
a little bit
beard and the
taller.
brown hair,
Yeah.
and the tallness.
Oh my God, I've never thought about that,
well,
dude.
I
It
think
was
literally
mainly
saw him,
Christian
like,
Fraser
3
telling me
weeks
I
ago.
look
Holy
like
crap.
him every time I come
also
to
like
a jam.
TJ Kolesnik though.
He doesn't have a. I guess he does have a beard.
Kind of TJ Kolesnik. And you used to play like him when you first started, and you used the Make Waves mod at the time. So
TJ was definitely one of the first pros that I had started following for sure. So
yeah.
it's sad to see him fall off a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just out of the Kendama, but it's cool to see his other work that he's been doing. You know,
Yeah.
got to support it.
That's
All of his work.
I think that's kind of like where I'd go if I ended up getting great at Kendama. I'd be like the video maker that pursued video making. Like even Cooper Eddy, I look at someone like that and I'm like, he won an award at Downspike for his video. He's a crazy good player,
Yeah.
and I would aspire to be like that. I think
Yeah.
people like that are super dope, and you can't hate them when they like stray away to pursue the other passion a little harder. But it is tough. You're like, where are the Dama clips? Like,
Yeah.
where are you at?
We also got to make money.
Yeah, it's
This
tough.
is true.
It's
The
tough.
ideal is combining the two. Like I said, if I could just make content for a Kendama company for a living, man, that'd be amazing. But I don't know
Yeah.
if Dama's got money like that from marketing. But
Yeah.
one day, maybe.
Even like the biggest companies in the world, man, there's small companies. So it's until Kendama becomes more of a worldwide known thing. I don't know if that.
Which is the goal.
Yeah.
We're all
It's
in
the
it
goal.
for the love of the game at this point, and anyone that's like doing,
Olympics.
I would say anyone that even has a company is like probably not
Making
in
a
it
whole lot.
for
No,
tons
they're
of
not.
profit.
I can
and
tell
fame.
you, yeah. Like
They're
from,
just spreading
yeah,
the
they're
love
not
of the
making a
game.
whole lot of money. They're not billionaires.
And we
or millionaires.
appreciate the hell out of it, y'all.
Yeah.
we do.
We
We
appreciate
definitely
y'all
appreciate
so much.
that.
Yeah,
So it
without
keeps
them,
it
obviously,
going.
we wouldn't have Damas to play. We wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
do the thing we love to do.
We'd be
Yup.
playing Amazon.
Amazon
Crackle,
Crackles. Honestly,
China
it probably wouldn't
Damas.
even be because those companies exist because they
Because
see
of
that
Kusa.
Kendama USA and Sweets have made a market, and they're like, all right, let's make some money. So we wouldn't
Yeah.
even have Crackles. We would have JKAs though.
Yeah.
We could get some Azora Damas. We would
Yeah,
just
we
do a
could.
big batch order, but we wouldn't know about Kendama.
Like the old school way,
yeah.
Yeah.
by a wholesale
The
order.
Jeremy way, basically.
Get
Yeah.
them sent over here.
Maybe there'd be more Mugans. I don't know.
We should do a custom run, buy a bulk order of Damas, and just have our own China brand of the same shape everyone else had for years.
No jumpers. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Actually, they have their own shape now.
I would
Like, for a
rock
little
some of
while
their
they were-
Tamas for sure. Their colorways are kind of cool, but
Yeah, they are.
basketball theme.
Basketball theme.
I'm not gonna buy
I
no
don't
jumper.
know.
The
Anything
names I
else?
think are the best part about
Got
that.
like a backwoods one.
They have like their names go with like they're like Dama versions of like a basketball player's name.
Yeah.
I forget what exact names they are, but definitely have a little pun going on to each of the name.
Yeah, I don't
Each of the
peruse their
Kendama.
site too often, but they're yeah. It's a funny thing, and we'll get into that in another
Yeah,
podcast.
that's a whole
For
nother
sure.
podcast. No jumper.
Yeah, no jumper. So, like I was saying, I really want to introduce y'all to all of us. And before we wrap up this podcast, I did want to take a moment to talk about Dave Mateo. Dave, I'm sure you know, he passed just a few weeks ago. And actually, the day we're recording this is the last day of his funeral. Today is a celebration of life. So I thought it would be appropriate to celebrate his life a little bit and just talk about maybe our favorite memory,
Yeah, share some
whether
memories.
it's personal or videos or whatever. My favorite memory was definitely meeting him in person for the second time technically at MKO a few years ago, and just getting to hang out with him, see all of his energy, go eat some food, and see him trying to jump off stuff at the Mall of America. And he came to Georgia after that too, but that moment at MKO was like I felt his energy a whole lot.
Felt his spirit.
And it was a big, it meant a whole lot to me, especially how encouraging it was just playing Ken and stuff with him. So that's definitely my favorite memory of Dave.
Yeah, that was definitely a big part in my liking of Dave Mateo, was how inspirational and how like encouraging, like you said, he was with new people, and how he would host so many events, and how he would be so energetic, and he would just create the energy that wasn't there, and that was such an awesome part. And every video that I've seen him in, I never had the chance to meet him in person, unfortunately, but just seeing his energy and anything that he did, it was spread, it definitely spread through whatever he did. And I'd say probably my favorite moments that I've seen of him were probably, I really enjoyed the whole 11 J-stick or better videos.
What a pinnacle.
Yeah, that was Kendama. super cool. And it just showed his persistence and it showed his dedication. Yes, for sure. And that was just a huge part in my liking of Kendama. I don't know, when I first got into it, I saw that, and it was super cool to see someone so dedicated in something like that, It's just doing it for the fun. He's just doing it just because he might be able to do it,
Yeah.
And that just showed who he was as a person. And, I thought it was super funny. He ended up getting it in his underwear, He had to take off all of his clothes to finally
It was the pants that was the problem at the end.
And that just shows his spirit a little bit, and how lighthearted and,
Nick, what was your favorite moment?
I've always been, since I started Dama and started watching videos, I was always drawn to Dave, not necessarily his play style, like his style.
Yeah, who he is.
I have locks, so I love when other players have locks. I was sort of drawn to them, and Dave had the longest in the game, and then had the one long one, and
signature.
So I was always just thought he was super interesting looking, and loved the purple aesthetic and the Pumas, but then his play style was one of a kind, like unique, and I never got super into the flowy tricks or the dance style or anything, but I loved it, and was always a huge fan of Dave. One of Aiden and our friends, when we first started playing, had the early pro mod that Dave had, and it was really cool looking, and I never loved the way it played, but I always loved the purple and the different
aesthetic,
the different wood on the Serato, and the custom things he decided to put on there, like spike hard, catch low. So when the plus size pro mod came out, that's probably like my favorite Dave moment. Like I bought that plus size pro mod, and I loved everything about it. You guys are talking about like Dave's persistence and the way he was about Kendama. Everything about that Kendama is and was amazing. Like he put the Penrose triangle in the small cup, and it's this impossible shape, and you spike for the stars. There's tracking stars on the top of the Tama, but you're always like reaching for the stars, and there's the dream catcher and spike hard, catch low, engravement. Everything about that Kendama was so aesthetic and also just so intentional, and I think that's Dave.
It is 100%.
So, and I wish I'd had the pleasure of meeting him when we were at the jam last weekend at the toy store. The woman working at the toy store,
I was about to bring that up.
She said thank y'all for showing up so much for Dave, and she had the pleasure of meeting Dave multiple times, and he came into the store.
Dave had a huge impact on the toy store worker. Toy store worker. But she was very inspired by him, just being around him and feeling his energy. And he had an impact on a lot of people, and it's very sad.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Instagram flooded with purple, and I even like pushed myself to do a trick that was Dave's level 7 KWC trick, and I'd always wanted it, but I like pushed really hard to lace it and put purple over it and put that up, and it's just been really cool to see the Kendama community do that for him.
Definitely came together.
Yes.
A lot of people have come out of the woodwork and started playing again for it, which I guess is a big great silver lining in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, we can never like bring him back, but him having so much influence
Re-spark.
that he was able to re-spark the love of it for other people is definitely a great thing he was able to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So in the spirit of honoring him, I did want to have a quick moment of silence. I know it's a podcast you're probably listening for sound, but for
Out of
Dave,
respect.
I did want to do that
Yes.
out of respect. So. All right, thank you guys. So we don't want to end up on a somber point.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for listening to this reboot of Georgia Kendama Radio. Aiden,
We're all excited.
Nick, thank you so much for being a part of that.
Of course.
I'm super excited for all the stuff. We have a lot of ideas flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody listening to this, you please make sure that you continue. We're gonna have some very interesting stuff coming out. I'm not sure with the schedule yet. We're definitely just trying to get out what we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, look forward to tips. Look forward to interesting facts. Look forward to just like lots of cool content about kendama.
Yeah.
So
Video reviews, product, chatting about what's coming out. I think we've all got different things in Dama we're interested in, and
yeah,
Maybe
wanna bring
possibly
all
some
that.
giveaways. Who knows?
Who
Yeah.
You gotta
We
stay
don't know.
tuned.
Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
subscribe.
So yeah. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. This has been Georgia Kendama Radio. Thank you guys, and that's it.
Let's go jam.